Hello, and welcome out to the Death Battle cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle. I'm Ben, I play Wiz.
I'm Nick. Hi.
I'm Tori, I'm a 3D animator.
I'm Sam, I write things.
And this is happening, apparently.
What?
What's
What
the
are you
story?
talking
What's
about,
the story here?
What's happening?
There's no
Are
story?
you gonna
I
talk
just
about
escaped
Death
from
Battle
prison.
stuff?
Oh, I guess this is just what they address as normally. That's interesting. Okay. Well, thank you to forhims.com for sponsoring this episode of Death Battle Cast. We'll have more information about them later on in the show. Now, we've got a big Death Battle coming up next week that we got to talk about, as well as a couple other things that just came out on the site. Nick, you had a top 10 worst Sonic characters.
Yeah.
Just recently, right?
That's going over about as well as you'd expect. This is
I don't, like, good, bad?
mostly good, but there are some vocal Sonic fans who...
Whenever you say anything about Sonic, positive or not, really,
Yeah,
it
you're going to
doesn't
be
even
wrong
matter.
to a lot of
you're
passionate people.
Yeah.
So,
Some extremely passionate people
you know.
are going to tell you that you're a piece of shit.
Which one's worse? Like, if you do that for Dragon Ball or for Sonic?
Both
I
Dragon
think
Ball and
Sonic is probably the worst.
Really?
really? I would say Dragon Ball, because, I mean, okay, if Sonic is truly the worst,
Okay.
then I've done right by them.
Hang
all
on,
things considered.
hang on. Before this devolves into trash-talking fandoms,
What?
they're both very large, passionate fan bases.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were saying. That's exactly what we
I'm
were
a Dragon Ball fan. I like
Okay.
Dragon Ball.
But are you part of the fandom?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I'm a fan. Does that not automatically make me
That's
part
true.
of the fandom? One more is
I
required of me.
think that's up for debate generally, but
Although one fandom definitely has a lot more sexually charged fanfic, and we all know which one it is,
Chi-Chi.
which is something to say about it. Anyways, let's
Yeah.
get on with their day.
well, another thing that came out I wanted to kind of give a shout out to was a Desk of Death Battle. Normally
Yeah.
you're the writer of Desk of, but this one
Normally.
that has just come up was written by our intern, Noel.
Yay!
Not the Noel who edits Death Battle.
Newell.
Newell.
We got an intern with the same name.
This was her project for a little while, and it just went up on Rooster Teeth for first members.
It's
How many
about
names
boob
are in the
physics.
world? How many names are in the world, and how is it that we keep bringing on people with repeat names? We have a very long history of this
There's
happening.
probably only like, what, 10 names?
Something like that, yeah. That's how it
Hey,
seems.
Torian, we haven't had another Torian or a Tori or anything like that, so.
Not yet.
Yeah.
True.
Give it some time.
Brian, who's running the show behind the scenes, when we were at Screw Attack back in Dallas, he was the only Brian. But then we moved to Austin to join Rooster Teeth, and there's literally a cult of Brians because there are so many.
A cult.
And to be fair, there was an intern Brian while Brian worked there. We've all had interns.
There was Ryan.
Oh, there was a Brian. It was
was
just
a Brian.
spelled differently.
There was
Yeah,
a
it was
Sam.
Ryan, Brian,
Yeah.
Byron. There was almost another Brian at one point that was being considered. He
There
didn't
was an
make it. This is years
Austin
ago.
who we called Bogan. So much so that I forgot his name was Austin.
Because we had Austin Harper already.
And then somebody called me because he had applied to a job, and they're like, he said they were an intern at Screw Attack, and I was like, we've never had an intern named Austin. I don't know. And then I called them back like 5 minutes later, like, you mean Bogan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young man, is your name really Bogan? Yes. Give me this job.
Police were like detaining him on the spot. They needed to verify his identity.
I thought his name was.
What's your name?
I don't know.
He
I didn't know his name
instinctively
was-
says Bogan, and then they look at his ID, and it's like, something's not right here. Something's wrong.
It's good.
But we also just released the preview, the last preview for this upcoming Death Battle on Spyro, kind of discussing which Spyro we're taking out of the three main timelines, how we're looking at that, what kind of abilities that he's going to have going into this fight. And Torian, you've been animating Crash versus Spyro for a while now.
Yes, I have been. I have been animating.
Well, technically you were animating. You're done. You're
Yes.
moving on to the next thing.
Yes,
but
I were animating.
we do have a little bit of that
How
fight
that works.
to show off. So let's go
What?
ahead and bring that up right now.
Ooh.
Act like this is the first time you're seeing it. Ooh, what is that?
Oh.
Weird. What are you doing? Hey. Sparks! No! All right. You asked for it!
Just having a good time.
Crash is just having a blast while Spyro is out.
Crash is having a good time.
While Spyro's out for a horrible revenge because Crash has murdered his best friend.
That's why it's so good.
Are you proud of this one?
I think it's super fun.
Sounds like a 6 out of 10 to me. Look forward to that. April 9th.
No. It was super fun to come up with like recreations of like their moves and stuff like that. And then Christina, our other intern, helped. And then Jerome also helped. So like this is one of the first ones where like 3 animators had their hands on it. It's gonna be pretty good. I like it. I'm proud of them.
And we've talked about doing this matchup for a while, but we always wanted it to be 3D. And these kind of characters are always a little more difficult to animate in 3D because they're very cartoonish, right?
Yeah.
Kind of similar to Ratchet and Clank versus
Yeah.
Baxter. So what kind of, were there a lot of difficulties kind of working around that for you?
Well, also, I imagine you can't like mocap a dragon very well, can you?
I mean,
Well-
I can. I mean, we have harnesses. I can just get put into a harness and then a pulley system to help me fly. No, I can't. I can't fucking mocap.
Did you Benedict
For a
Cumberbatch it?
second, I was completely believing that shit, and I was like, "We got dungeon gear in the mocap." Like,
Well, actually, on that note, there's a question from Schneider Brady from the community that I want to bring up right now. He asked, Torian, how does it feel to animate a 4-legged character with mocap?
You know what? I honestly did try it.
You did?
I tried it and I was like,
How did it turn out?
it did not turn out great.
What was wrong with it?
It was because what happens is that the rigging system for Crash is like I built it out for like specifically a dragon. It's not built out for a person.
you mean Spyro?
Spyro. It's not built out for a person on 4 legs.
Yeah, because
So-
the points of articulation are going to be different.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the motoring like points, or
Yep.
capturing points. I imagine aren't built for that.
Exactly. So
Especially
even
like the hind leg.
yeah. So
Yeah.
even if it'll interpolate data as a person on 4 legs, but not the same way as like me or you know a person on 4 legs, and then the rig would be like, no, this doesn't work. So we had to hand key most of Spyro stuff. Actually, Jerome hand keyed most of Spyro stuff, which is great.
Do
He's
you
awesome.
think you could have made like a mocap suit for one of the resident dogs and had them run around and gotten it?
It depends. I haven't dug deep into like, cause some mocap systems, they specifically have to be set up to mocap animals, which they do. They do have those. But I don't know if ours does. So when it comes to stuff like that, I can't mocap, then I just revert to my animation skills and I just animate. I just.
All right.
Well, if you're a first member watching live and you're interacting with the chat, I see Too Shy asks if we can get any footage of your attempt to mocap Spyro.
I don't have it. I'm sorry.
Why?
Why weren't you recording?
Do you ever keep or record?
I
any
do,
of it?
however.
We discussed this like all the time.
However,
Hey, Torian, remember to record
However,
your mocap.
Olive Branch, I do have reference footage of me. So that first part when Spyro was kind of talking, I referenced myself sitting in a chair talking, and to get the timing and stuff right for a little dragon. So we do have that. We can put that out. People can see that.
Like with head movements? Or
Yeah,
just for...
it's just me like in a chair.
It's like the Cumberbatch.
Yeah, yeah. So that's nice.
Whenever I think of...
We also have storyboards,
Yes, well...
I have seen that.
so we can create like a cool animatic. We got cool stuff for this fight. It's
Maybe we
special.
will. Maybe we'll show off some more, but I don't want to give away too much for the fight, obviously, because it comes out next week, this upcoming Monday, for first members on Rooster Teeth, and then on YouTube this upcoming Wednesday. So
Yeah.
be sure to check that out. We're super excited to share it with you guys. And then Sam, I think this is where you get to be Chad for a moment.
Yeah, I'm Chad's job, so I have an ad read for hymns today because they sponsored us and they're wonderful. So, When it comes to taking care of your body, it can be, really easy to ignore stuff opposed to going to the doctor. Sometimes it's because the problem might be embarrassing or you think there's nothing out there to help you. But today we're here to tell you about 4hims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Specifically, we're going to talk about erectile dysfunction, not to be confused with reptile dysfunction, which is what killed the dinosaurs. Not really, don't worry. It's an issue that affects everybody, not just old people, which, a lot of people assume. And sexual performance issues are common in men that, even this one blew me away. Did you know that 25% of ED occurs in men under the age of 40?
I never would have guessed.
That's all of us. I know.
That's a problem.
And 40% of men by age 40 struggle from not being able to maintain an erection. So Hims wants to help. If you're experiencing issues like this, don't turn to weird solutions. Turn to medicine and science. Science is something we believe in a lot around here. And let's see, Hims offers medical-grade solutions with real doctors. They have well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions. There's no waiting room, so you save time and get to talk to a real doctor from the comfort of your own house. You'll be connected to a certified doctor online, and after a few quick questions and review by a doctor, you can be prescribed and then deliver it straight to your door. So easy peasy. DB Cast viewer like you can try Hims for a month today for just $5 while supplies last. So go to forhims.com/casted. That's forhims.com/casted. forhims/casted.
Thank you, Chad.
Fake Chad. I did Chad's job for today.
Yeah.
Chad ran away,
I like the
actually.
new Chad.
When I chose this wig, I wasn't thinking about the fact that Hims was sponsoring this episode.
You could have had...
You mean?
Good job.
Perfect. All right.
point.
Good job, everybody.
Take care of it. You got to
For
take care
Hims
of
can
it.
help with that.
Yes. Yes, they can. All right. Thank you again, 4hims, for sponsoring this episode. Now, we got something a little special, I think. Austin, are you out there? I'm looking in the darkness trying to find Austin. There we go. All right, so Torian, I don't know if you remember this, but a few weeks ago, you had mentioned that you'd never eaten lobster before.
This is chicken and waffles.
No, this is lobster and waffles.
I'd eat the crap out of that.
So
Yeah.
apparently Red Lobster just recently started doing a lobster and waffles dish. And now we're gonna eat it, I guess.
Sweet.
I think this was just a really good excuse for us to eat lobster and waffles on the company dollar. Because I saw this the other day, because I'm a big fan of chicken and waffles or any waffles in general. And then so I was like, we gotta eat that. And then Austin, being the smart man he is, was like, Torian said he'd never had lobster the other day. Let's just do it on cast.
I've never had fried lobster.
Yeah, fried lobster is an
Fried
odd
lobster.
thing too.
Okay, so would this defeat the purpose of me trying like regular lobster?
Well, it's a form of lobster.
Everything
so-
is
you
better
think-
when it's fried.
Do you think eating fried chicken would defeat the purpose of having real chicken?
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, I guess.
All right, so what do you think?
Should I eat it with the waffle?
However you want to do it.
I feel like that'll obscure the taste of the lobster.
We need to figure out what you think of lobster.
I always forget until we're eating stuff how terrible it is to eat and chew on mic. So sorry, everybody.
There are entire,
bad idea.
there are
Yeah, some
entire Twitch channels of people just eating, and
Yeah.
people love that shit somehow.
Yeah, well, they go there for the chewing and stuff in their ears.
Mock bang, you know, right?
Is that what it is? I don't know.
Okay, so like, that didn't taste like anything.
Welcome to lobster. The sea creature, that really doesn't taste like much. It's kind of like shrimp.
Was that it? That's what it was, like a bland shrimp.
Yeah, this is what the hype was all about.
Mine didn't pull
welcome
apart.
to the-
I had to shove it all in my
Your
mouth.
life post eating shrimp. I mean, lobster, whatever, seafood.
So, is your life different now? Do you feel like you've undergone?
If anything, I like the waffle more.
If you can go back in
They
time,
make the waffle with the biscuit batter.
Oh, that's
That's
so
why it's so
smart.
goddamn good.
if you can go back in time and tell your pre-lobster self something about what you now know, what would it be?
Just eat more shrimp.
That's it.
God, I look fabulous.
So what's going on with this get-up of yours?
What get up?
Whatever you're wearing.
Push the podcast forward. What are you? Come on, man.
That's what I'm doing.
Torian, do you think we could make a little like 3D show about a bunch of mobsters And well, actually, it'll just
we
be
had this
about sea
conversation.
creature life. But the leader of the mob will be a lobster, so it's a mobster lobster.
Yes.
It's just pretty much like the
We have
story
to-
of Al Capone, except underwater.
I was just about to say we have to do that for the name alone. Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah, because like the mobster lobster seems, you know,
now
Right, too
I'm
good of
gonna-
an opportunity to
Where did
pass.
you get this from?
Red Lobster.
I'm gonna go and order that specifically, just for the waffle.
Just for
Well,
the
have you ever had a
waffle.
Red
To just
Lobster
get a
biscuit?
waffle.
Yes, because they sell them in the store by themselves.
Like you
the
don't
cheddar
mean like
biscuit?
in the grocery store.
Like the cheddar biscuits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell them in the grocery store. You can just buy them and bake
Have
them.
you ever actually had one though?
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah. Do you have Cheddar Bay biscuits back there? Will you bring him
What
one?
is happening?
Because I don't think he's ever actually had.
Who else is back there?
It's intern Noel.
Oh, okay. Oh, intern Noel.
It's the lobster.
She exists.
Eat that and tell me what it's like.
This is the same thing that you bake from the grocery store.
You've not yet. No. That's like saying a cake that you bake at home is better than the one that they make at the bakery. No, the bakery people are better.
This is dry.
All right, well then,
Well,
fuck
what a
you too, I
disappointment.
guess. Shit talking my Cheddar Bays now.
This is. Are you know? Oh shit! You're for real.
No, I don't really care.
Oh, I was about to say because this is not what this shit is dry as fuck.
They used to be gangster, like way back in the
It
day,
is
and
not good.
then they had too many calories and they started making them different.
God damn it! I need some juice. I need some fucking liquid.
You got a drink?
I know this ain't gonna
Got
be
this Red
enough.
Bull.
So what's our move forward from here?
I feel like I got
Just
cotton.
resolve
I'm
on
so
words.
curious where this is
peaked.
going to go. This amazing discussion.
About lobsters and waffles?
I got cotton mouth from this dry ass biscuit.
I don't know if it's from the biscuit.
Oh well.
Okay. Moving on. Did you guys see that the new Spider-Man game has a release date?
September 7th.
Who's
Yeah.
excited for that?
Hey Jinx, you both owe me a soda to wash down this dry ass biscuit.
Dude, sodas are free over there.
I'm just saying.
Can I get one too if anybody actually gets one for Dorian?
Can we do a soda run, I guess?
Soda run.
No soda. Soda's
Should
bad
we
for
all
you.
go get
Water.
a soda and continue doing the podcast on the way?
I'm just saying. That's the
just said
phrase.
you wanted
Jinx,
a
you
soda.
owe me a soda. That's the.
Well, you know
It's
what?
actually you owe me a Coke.
Oh really?
I guess we're not all that excited for
soda.
Spider-Man.
What about
Oh, wow.
Spyro?
Yes.
There's a new
Spyro.
Spyro. Why didn't you
You're
use
so
so disappointed.
guys are
Why
just-
you look so
You guys are just
disappointed?
derailing all of these.
Why didn't you use
It's
the
gonna be
new
one of those
Spyro
derailing
models?
all of
Like,
these? Because guys, I was gonna say what's going on. Let's see what's going on in the community, and then this thing would come up.
Oh, what's going on?
Go ahead, bring up the community thing. Well, wait, not that one. Sorry.
Broadcast is on board.
The community comment.
They're on board with this. These shenanigans.
That one.
Podcast ruin.
And that was going to lead into the discussion of what about the new Spyro game?
When I was a kid, and
It's all in the script, guys, in the rundown. You know what's supposed
you
to
didn't
happen?
share me on it?
you also
You all are shared on it.
me wearing a
didn't
wig.
click on
Yeah,
it.
me wearing his wig is not in your script either. So when I was a kid, I loved Spyro games. Like they were the fucking shit.
Yeah.
And then those PS2 games came out, and I was like, Spyro's fucking lame.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like the
I do
Legends
not
one?
like those at all. It was doing like that weird where everything had to be like a hack and slash Devil May Cry era. And
Much
like
more
It was part of the mediocre revamps. Yeah.
yeah, like what the hell is that?
Chocolate milk. Yeah, I did not own a PlayStation until I got a PS4. So I have been so excited to catch up on all the stuff I missed. I still need to get Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy.
Yeah.
But
really
right
good.
behind that is going to be Spyro for me.
Isn't Crash the Insane Trilogy coming to Switch?
Yeah, coming to
Yes.
Switch. I haven't decided if I'm going to get it on
probably
Switch or
Because I know it's been out for a while, but
Put it
Wow.
on Switch.
Yeah, it's really good.
Switch seems like a good way to play that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it got leaked for, Spyro got leaked for Switch as well. It was on Nintendo UK's website or something like that, but then they took it.
I mean, why wouldn't
Took it
they?
down.
Why would they do Crash and not do Spyro? It's
Exactly.
Like yin, yin, yang,
Well, it's,
you know.
it's
Well,
a different company.
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, true.
But I
Spyro's
mean, you
appeared
get
on
what you're
Nintendo
saying.
before.
Like,
But they're still like Sony shit.
after the success of the Crash reboot, which everybody just went totally hype over, it makes sense,
Right.
you know, to try to get on board with Spyro because it might create the same kind of hype, and it certainly is so far.
Hopefully
And
they
if
both
they're
get new games.
If they're both on Switch, then people can further speculate that they might be in Smash, which is
Yep.
really what. Like I
That's
feel
what
like
really matters.
At
here.
the last in the last month, pretty much the entire Nintendo community has been based around Smash speculation
Yeah.
entirely, and I'm not like hating on it. Like I like a good little bit of speculation as much as the next guy. So,
I go hard
I mean,
in the Smash speculation.
Yeah. I know.
I did a whole top 10 on
You
it.
already did a top 10. Yeah.
You just go back to that image with the burning fireball
Yeah.
of doom, and you just find the silhouette, and it's like, that's not actually Bowser's silhouette. It's totally Spyro's. Confirmed right here.
Fun Spyro fact, you know in the second one, the bad guy's named Ripto? That's because of the way they spell Spyro in Japanese. It looks like Ripto.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just a fun Spyro fact for you.
I knew there
Just
was-
gonna
there's
dash,
some-
sprinkle that in there.
Yeah, I knew there was some connection between
Yeah,
that. I just
yeah.
couldn't remember what it was, but thank you for dropping the Spyro knowledge.
Hey, Spyro.
Now that much smarter.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and bring up that fan art that we kind of skipped over.
This is great. This is why this is the best podcast.
This is
It
the
was
best
on
podcast.
this day of the Lord's year of 2018 that both Easter and April Fool's Day coincide for the birth of our Chibitorian. Chiben is now a big brother.
Man,
I'm so
You hatched from
excited.
an egg
I hatched with the sunglasses. That's the best part of this.
and clothed.
Like,
Just clothed, period.
this is great. Like my little lips.
Why so cherub-esque?
What do you mean?
I mean, that's just how all of his art is.
yeah.
He's making more. He's gonna make all of us in chibi form.
I know, but I always thought it was because you have some elements of like cherubness to you.
Oh yeah.
Do I?
No,
Well,
because
I
when you
could
were when you were in the, the
okay,
dog costume,
Right, it was
and you did
inspired
that,
by me in that
If
costume
Your
doing
cheeks
this
were
thing.
fat.
This has been since October.
If any
Oh,
of
look,
us
I'm
were
in space.
going to do any
Yeah.
sort of like what's
is this
Cupid
Ninja
cosplay, it would be you. Like I mean, I think you're the most cherubish. So I just thought that was art was based off of that.
Cool.
Do I look cherubish to you? Let me know using hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter.
I look like.
Yeah, sure.
You always
Man,
do to me.
you mean
man.
so
Oh, thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
think.
You're welcome.
Anyway, yeah. What was that? That was you in space?
Yep.
There's some fan art of.
What is this Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, he had like a.
I understand what this is.
Like a kendo stick.
But he has a beer, so
What conversation did I miss out on?
Wait, let's
I'm
bring
not
up
sure.
whatever this photo is. The
It's got a
Ninja Turtle.
Ninja Turtle
He
with
has
the
a
beard?
kendo stick and it's a blade on the end of the kendo stick.
I want to see this.
See?
That's a Tonfa.
A tonfa.
Yeah.
I say kendo stick.
It's
Oh, it's
with the blade.
boomstick. He has a shotgun leg.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
a boomstick.
Oh!
That's cool.
That's pretty good.
Oh my gosh,
it.
I get it.
Yeah.
A tonfa.
That's
Oh.
Can turtles even be fat?
sweet. They
I assume
can.
so.
So I have 2 pet turtles at my family's
I
place.
like where this is going now.
So
was
the way they get fat, it's not their shells expanding out. It's like their skin and whatnot inside the shell. It kind of starts ballooning out. So like
That's adorable.
our our turtles were somewhat obese for a little bit of a time.
So like their
fed them
feet
too
will
much.
go all the way back in the shell.
Well, no,
Like
like
stuck?
no. So, like their hind legs, they don't suck in like what happens in cartoons and stuff. It kind of like folds in and just like the shell outer layers kind of like protect it. But they were so fat at one point that their hind legs couldn't quite go in all the way because there was just so much like excess skin. It'd be
There's
hard
just
to
folds coming out of the shell.
not even
essentially.
folds. It's hard to verbally describe, but there wasn't enough space for them to pull their legs all the way in. So if they were out in the wild and they were predators,
How do they lose?
they'd be losing some
Like,
limbs.
how do they lose weight?
Just
Like, you go to the vet and the vet's like.
Turtle aerobics.
you put them on a turtle treadmill,
yeah.
like we did.
Oh, really?
Wait.
Yes, story. No, you don't put them on a turtle treadmill.
I was in. I was in.
he got bamboozled by
I
him.
kind of fell for that too a little bit. I'm like, hang on a second. Well, I was thinking
Turtle
like
treadmill?
a gerbil thing, like a gerbil wheel for turtles.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
is that
turtles
I
sit
feel
there.
like that's the animal to where if you get obese, you're fucking done. That's it. Like, there's no turning back.
No, we have a swimming pool in my family's backyard, and every summer, not every summer, but most summers, at least once, we take them out to go swimming in the pool with us.
Oh,
It's kind of awesome.
that helps them stay below that you're obese, you're gonna die level, huh?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Healthy is what we call it.
Yeah. You go to the vet, yeah, this turtle's obese.
This turtle is right in the middle of obese and gonna die level.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
That's good. Yeah. So turtle exercise. Exercise
All right.
with turtles, kids.
Good to know. There's knowledge all over this place right here. That's just
Learn about
finding
turtles.
stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning about
Yes,
turtles.
Lobster biscuits. Can't believe that's what everyone fucking talks about. That thing's awful.
The biscuit?
Yes.
I think it's.
Pass me a Dr. Pepper, please.
I think it's just a bad
those come from?
experience.
From hell.
A bad. What do you mean a bad experience?
Have you ever made them at home and they're better than that?
No.
Fucking Austin, bro.
Oh. you just don't like them in general.
They. And then you hyped me up. You were like, "Oh, you're
That's
making it
fair.
at home."
And
I'm like, well, they clearly got this from the restaurant, and Austin owns a Red Lobster, so it has to be better.
He owns
It's
Red
nothing.
Lobster
It's
itself.
nothing like the biscuits they got at churches. I think out of all biscuits, those are probably the best biscuits.
I can go to churches for $2 and get a better biscuit than that.
Did you ever go to Babe's back when we lived in Dallas?
No, there's one over here though, isn't
But
there?
there's a Babe's here
Yeah,
in Austin?
I believe so. Chris Horn.
The McMuffin biscuit is better than that damn thing. All right, anyway.
McMuffins are good, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm saying they are better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. $2. Carry on, Ben. You're driving this thing.
All right. Well, I'm trying to
Yeah.
piece together what we're supposed to do next because we're just all over the place now. Because I realized we need to talk about what's going on. Sorry, broadcast. I know that was supposed to happen 15 minutes ago, but
Jazz. We're just kind of winging it as we
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gotta play it by ear.
What's going on with? Well, we've already talked about it all. There's nothing really to talk about.
Oh wait, good crash Spyro and all that was supposed to be part of our what's going on?
Yes.
Oh wow. we fucked that up a little bit, didn't we?
We could talk about Infinity War. There was a tweet that the Russo brothers just put out that was talking about how if you see it early for whatever reason, if you see it in the opening weekend or early clips that they're going around with a opening week tour, they asked everybody to be silent and not spoil it online or anything like that.
So naturally, people did the opposite.
Sure, it's going to be the opposite maybe. It hasn't started yet. They haven't started showing it off yet.
I
But
feel like this in general should be a thing where spoilers are such they're a thing in today's society. Everybody knows what you're talking about. There's spoiler warnings, etc. But there should just be an actual statute of limitations for spoilers that we should put down.
Yeah.
Because
what would be the
people
punishment?
need to know.
3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks in jail for
the
spoilers?
punishment
No,
is just
I'm
that
saying, that's the statute.
if you break the statute of limitation for spoilers, everybody just knows you're a piece of shit.
Yep.
You're just
everyone.
a terrible person. You're a fucking
This
spoiler.
is a website. It's called People Who Are Pieces of Shit, specifically for spoiling things.
Well, we just know. We just know. Now there's no actual rule. They're like, oh, come on, I'm just saying what other people on the internet are saying. I'm like, no, you're an asshole.
Or it could be if you're registered as
A spoiler?
a spoiler man, then
Spoiler?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
then it's on everybody else to make sure that everything this person is known to love and enjoy, everybody makes an effort to spoil it for him.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're a registered
You're an
spoilerist?
actual, as a
you go.
human, you're spoiled. You were a spoiled, old milk human now.
And no one will talk to that person.
What?
So we're gonna fuck shit up for them,
And you
we're
actually
not
smell
gonna interact
bad.
with them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
So don't spoil shit.
But the statute of limitations should realistically only be 1 month.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
sure.
But
I mean, you gotta talk about 99% of the reason why these things exist, these blockbuster movies exist, is so that people can come out of the theater and talk about it with their friends for over the next
Sure, but
weeks.
It's like the Avengers. Do we really have to do all this? Just shut the fuck up until the movie comes out. Stop the trailers. Stop maybe go on the junket because you got to promote the movie. But everyone's gonna go see it.
Sure, well,
I like
not all at once.
I like the stop the trailers. Let's just dive a little deeper.
Like-
What does a world for you look like? Just a movie just comes out one day?
I'm
and people are like, oh shit,
at a
Spider-Man's
certain,
out.
At a certain point, stop the trailers.
Oh, just one. Put a limit on it?
Yeah.
Because I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think
all
there's
the TV spots,
can't, though.
the Twitter
They can't,
spots,
though.
the trailer before the trailer.
The Twitters sell, or not the Twitters, the trailers sell, oh God.
Sell the movie.
Sell the movie. That's the.
Yeah.
I think it's more so about
you
the
don't need-
content of the trailers. Just don't make it okay. Perfect example: Spider-Man: Homecoming. That first trailer, perfect. It told you the tone, the setting, generally what the movie's going to be like. The very next one, they got your confidence, they got your trust. Second one, here's the whole movie.
Yeah. They spoiled it. Those would go on our spoiler lists. They would be spoiled people. They're
There we go.
spoilers.
We lock 'em
We
up
don't
in
like
the
them.
spoiler
They're not
tray.
allowed to edit trailers anymore. They're done. They're out.
That's a common complaint nowadays, right? That like a lot of trailers will spoil the
They
whole
show off way
movie.
too much.
Batman v Superman is an excellent example where they showed off Doomsday when they really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Or didn't even need to. But like, I
should be
can't remember
like
who was in the office at the time, but we were watching a trailer for some much older movie in the 80s or whatever, and old trailers show off way more.
Oh, yes.
They don't
Yeah.
care if you get the ending of the movie at the very last shot of the entire movie in the trailer. They don't care. They just want you to go see it.
Yeah. So
I guess that's fair, but it depends on what kind of movie it is. In a movie like Avengers, Infinity War, one trailer should be enough. A brand new movie. Okay.
I mean, they got to keep the hype up,
I
but
guess.
like, I mean, there's a balance, obviously, that needs to be made. But
I think just limit them. Just like you get 3 trailers, no more.
You get 2 in a TV spot.
any more than that, and you're
these
spoilerist.
I mean, whatever they're doing clearly works because they've started getting like the $1 billion mark is a much more common thing
Sure.
now.
Well,
for
let's not
blockbusters.
say clearly. Yes, it clearly works, but that doesn't mean holding back a little bit won't also work.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, so let's give it a shot. Let's see, maybe spend a little bit less on marketing, and then you still get the same payout.
Yeah.
And we didn't waste money. Great, yay, another movie.
All right. Well, I mean, I suppose so. But anyway, we haven't really talked about who have we talked about who we think is going to die in Infinity War?
It's gonna be Batman.
Can it be Iron Fist?
I hope it's Iron Fist.
Iron
I
Fist
would-
shows up for
I would
5
almost-
seconds in the entire MCU and dies.
Nobody likes him.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody-
There's a
like-
tweet I saw that said like, because I haven't watched any of the Netflix shows since Luke Cage, but the tweet was something like, after showing up in Jessica Jones season 2, now it looks like he's showing up in Luke Cage season 2 to ruin that. And there's a picture of like on the set of Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Oh no.
Fucking
I mean,
serious?
I mean, they have to.
I haven't started Jessica Jones, and now I don't
Shared
want
universe.
Yeah.
Shared universe, sure, but
Shared screen time? Like,
to. He
like-
fucking sucks.
I haven't watched The Defenders or Jessica
Forgettable.
Jones season 2, or I think that's about it. No, I haven't watched The Punisher.
The Punisher is fucking great.
Yeah?
That was the bounce back. But the Defenders sucks solely because of Iron Fist. Daredevil tried his damnness to save that show. Luke Cage, forgettable. Jessica Jones, whatever. Daredevil worked his ass off to try to save that show, but Iron Fist kept sticking his fucking head in and reminding
His
you
fist in.
his fist in, not even his fist in, and sucking the life out of anything that he's on screen. Oh, so
Welcome to Complain About Marvel Netflix series cast.
it's mainly just Iron Fist.
Yeah. Oh, T. Douglas is commenting on like in the chat, like, oh, the Iron Fist hate is still real.
Yeah.
It's still happening. It will never end.
because he's such a cool character, and they like fucked it up. Like,
Well, yeah, and also they span up really well. Like it was like Daredevil season 1,
Yeah.
crushed it. Jessica Jones season 1, crushed it. Like,
Hey.
oh look, this whole like Netflix Marvel universe is
Yeah.
gonna be dope. And then they're
awesome.
like Iron Fist.
Iron Fist was the thing that Iron Fist was the thing that brought that train down to a stop.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you're riding. It's like you
'Cause
learn
even
how to
Luke
ride a bike,
Cage-
and you're doing great. You're doing tricks and shit. You're like, yeah, and then just all of a sudden you fucking forget, and you just fall and never get back up. Never try it again.
Well, I was thinking, like, we've talked about, everybody's talked about, like, oh, Iron Man might die in Infinity War.
That's too ridiculous.
Captain America might die, blah, blah, blah. I'm more curious if Thanos is gonna die. Because I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 recently, and I realized that he belongs in that series way more than Infinity War.
Sure.
There's been, like, no buildup, or he has had no impact on the rest of the Marvel Universe except
yeah.
for kind of, sort of encouraging an invasion in Avengers, but it wasn't even him. Like, it was that one dude who got his neck snapped in Guardians. So, like, the Avengers don't know who he is. They don't care. But the Guardians, like, half of them have a huge tie to him. Like, he was the one who basically got Drax's family killed. Gamora and Nebula were his daughters, and that whole thing about them in the last movie. In fact, both movies are essentially about how parents affect their kids. And I was thinking, it makes way more sense for Thanos' big story to happen in Guardians 3. because
Yeah.
that also affects the Guardians. And
yeah.
like, especially Gamora and Nebula. Like, Guardians 2 dealt with Star-Lord's family and how he was affected by that. Doesn't make sense for the Thanos one to be like the key factor in Guardians 3. So I don't know.
Well,
It's gonna feel weird if it's not to me.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in.
They got like a cameo appearance.
Is that all?
Apparently they're not very featured, according to Chris Pratt at least.
Okay, well,
Way to go,
and I
Chris
guess there
Pratt. He's
goes
on
my
the
theory
spoiler
before
list.
I could even give it.
He's on the
Oh,
fucking
no.
spoiler list.
My theory was going to be, because I know they're in the movie, maybe that's where their story with Thanos kind of ties up.
Maybe it's like a big
maybe-
It's like if you're building up Thanos to be the big bad guy and he doesn't,
I don't think he is though,
who?
because I think Ben's
who would
onto
be?
something. I don't know. That would be a cool like.
Stan Lee?
That would be a cool. That would be a cool surprise for it not to be Thanos. Cause
Well-
like,
Then be like Iron Man 3 all over again.
well,
Thanos is definitely the major villain. He's been the Russo brothers have described him as the main character.
so what does he? What does he do? Just leave?
Infinity War. So I don't know. That's my question. It's like because I guess what's making me think this is that I think of the Guardians movies as almost separate from the Marvel universe in a way. They hold their own as really good movies.
Yeah.
And they're
just
literally
without the Marvel
separate
name.
from the Marvel world.
They haven't really interacted with them at all. The only thing that kind of ties them together is that Infinity Stone from the first one, which even then, like that Infinity Stone wasn't from Earth or anything like that. It was just a MacGuffin thing for that one story. For all I care, it could never come up again, in terms of the Guardians story.
I just don't want it to be a bigger end of Avengers 1.
It's just another
It's just
big
a big.
fight.
It's just a 2-hour big fight.
I mean, there's going to be some of that.
I know, but like, I feel like, what the fuck are they gonna talk about? Like, what's?
Well, Thanos is a pretty interesting character, and
Sure.
they've talked a little bit about how they're bringing him in. Like, I don't think a lot of people know Thanos' backstory, but like, long story short, he was a mutated alien basically. When he was born, his entire society shunned him, so he worked really hard to be better than them. And eventually their entire population got annihilated. In the comics, it's because he decided to just take out his revenge on them. But apparently in the movies, it has something to do with overpopulation, which then leads to him
Trying to make a point, yeah.
Yeah.
deciding, and then Thanos' his whole goal, I guess, in these movies to try to like decrease population so it doesn't happen to another planet or something like that. I don't know. So I'm very curious to see what they do with him. But like in the comics, what happens in Infinity War is Nebula eventually gets the gauntlet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick if they did that in the movie.
So, but like I feel like that belongs in the Guardians movies. I don't know. Maybe that's just me trying to like keep the Guardians movies
There's
a
a lot of-
pristine little nice trilogy.
I wonder.
I think it might be. I mean, I would love for it to kind of stay that way. And they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
So I'm not like.
But like, wouldn't it feel weird if they wrap up all the Thanos stuff and then they make Guardians 3? It's like all that stuff we were talking about in the other two movies about Thanos, just wrapped up in a different series.
I mean, these things are all connected so much anyway that like I think it was only a matter of time before Guardians of the Galaxy kind of received some of that.
I don't want it to.
I know you don't want it to, but you know what? You're not the one making the big shots. You're not the one with the big bucks.
Do you think they'll at all allude to
You're not
the
Walt
like
Disney.
whole Thanos dating death, Deadpool triangle thing that they had going on for a while?
You know, they've never brought up Death as a character in the MCU. So, I don't know. Do you guys think maybe, this is a long shot, but maybe part of the reason for that is maybe they've been like holding out, hoping they can get the rights to Deadpool back and then do something more proper?
Maybe, I don't know. With this whole overpopulation thing, I think they're trying to create a new reason for him to be a villain or whatever. But
They haven't messed with like any of the other gods, because like Mephisto's a person that makes
they
a
did
lot of
have
trouble. Like,
Hela in Thor 3. She's technically a
Yeah,
goddess
yeah.
of death.
Oh, yeah.
And in the comics right now, or at least recently, there is a plot where Thanos teams up with Hela and kind of, sort of, maybe falls in love with her because she's a goddess of death. There's something going on there.
That's just his thing, huh? He just likes.
So maybe Hela survives the events of Thor Ragnarok, and then we get Cate Blanchett as a secret second villain in Infinity War. I don't know. That's like a random.
didn't she
theory I literally
lose?
just
She's
came
like
up with here.
Loki.
Well,
too.
she lost, but we didn't actually see her die. There was just a big
No
explosion.
body, no death.
I guess.
Even
You know how
then,
these comic
Coulson.
book movies
She
work?
was sick. That was probably one of the sickest villains they've had in MCU
She was fun.
in a long time.
She was
She was
fun.
pretty sick.
I would be totally on board with her coming back.
People just stabbing
Definitely.
her. She was just like, no, stop it, all of you.
Man, I mean, obviously we could theorize about
haven't-
Avengers for days,
They
but
haven't mentioned Galactus at all either, have they?
well, they don't.
Because
own
that's 20th Century Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Because Fantastic Four and stuff.
Yeah.
But that could be Disney soon.
Yeah, that
Have they?
makes
What was the
sense.
latest on that?
I don't know.
Because last I heard, it wasn't official because Comcast, for some reason, might have wanted to try to get a piece of that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been. I'm not entirely sure.
That was the
how
last
that's
I heard of
working,
it.
But
If anybody in the chat knows, let us know.
yeah,
No one would outbid Disney on that, though. Like,
Probably not.
Because it's worth more to Disney than anyone else.
if they're allowed to do it,
Yeah.
it could be judged that it'd be.
Well, even just
much
to
monopoly.
purchase those properties back.
It also kind of depends on how far Comcast is willing to take a troll attempt. Because
I mean-
do they have? If they're trying,
If their internet
fact
speeds
check
are
me on it
anything
being
very far.
Comcast. Fact check me on it being Comcast because if it is Comcast, they don't have any production studios that I know of. If that's like a market they're trying to break into, then I guess
It is
getting,
Comcast.
Then I guess getting 20th Century Fox would be a great way to sort of do so like pretty quickly.
I don't know.
All the superhero properties and stuff, like that's hot these days.
I mean,
it has been for a while.
Either way, it'll be hard for them to get a hold of this stuff, of their old rights to these characters. Maybe not necessarily for Fantastic Four, but with Deadpool doing so well,
X-Men.
X-Men's doing pretty well, especially, and they're trying to get the Channing Tatum Gambit movie still going. I don't know.
Still?
Yeah, I heard something about that. Is
been in the
still
works for like
being
a
thing.
decade,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
So if that actually comes to pass and that releases and it does well, then that's just another, kind of bump in the road for Disney to try to get these things back. Because in order for them to really get it back like efficiently, Fox would have to just keep failing at it until they would have to go to Marvel like Sony did. Like that's really the only way they could get it without having to just dump an exorbitant amount of money on them that they are willing to give it up, which maybe they can do. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I think it's time to move on to the community death battle. Let's do it, boy. So this one's a big one. This is a matchup that I've seen requested for a death battle quite frequently. Rock Lee from Naruto versus Sanji from One Piece. Basically, the martial arts masters. And we've got some answers from the community. And with every community death battle, we also leave a poll on the Screw Attack Twitter that you can always vote on. So we'll have one for the upcoming community death battle. But first things first, we'll bring up the answers from Anthony Jackson for Rock Lee. And he says, at their best, they are both fast, strong, and powerful. But Sanji only uses his legs in a fight, whereas Lee is considered one of the best taijutsu fighters in his universe. Lee at full power of his gates, plus his skill, will win. Okay. Good argument for Rock Lee. Let's bring up the Sanji argument from Gimmick. And he says, with his black leg style, Sanji is capable of flight via airwalk, speed feats that let him casually dodge bullets at point blank. Observation hockey makes it impossible for opponents to escape Diable Jambe, especially when enhanced with the armament hockey. And Sanji has a leg up in this fight. Thank you for that. We love those. All right.
I'm gonna go Rock Lee because he's a wizard.
He's not a wizard.
He's literally the opposite.
Actually, his whole point is that he can't do the magic stuff.
Yeah, but he does anyway. To access
Yeah.
the gates and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He does anyway, and he's like super fast. He's super strong. I mean, he can like break rocks. Like I guess like Sanji's whole thing is like he does mainly fight with his feet, but like so Rock Lee is like a Sanji and something else.
Maybe. I mean, Sanji does have a lot of powers as well.
Sure.
And so I was looking into this a bit, and they seem relatively even in terms of speed feats and durability to an extent. But One Piece gets fucking crazy sometimes.
Well, and also the hockeys are just like the armament hockey and the observation hockey are really stupid because they're just kind of like a Deus Ex thing where, like, no matter what happens to a character, if they want them to survive, it can always be armament hockey. They can always be like, oh, like literally a mountain fell on this guy. MBD, armament hockey, like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing, like, that's just a writer's tool to just do whatever the fuck they want. And there's no really way, I feel like, to scale that well, because you can't really scale it to, like, Zoro's armament hockey, because he uses it in a different way, and he's also, like, you just have to do exactly
in terms of durability, maybe you can.
Yeah, but it's based on, the way I understand their hockey from what I remember, and it's been like a year since I've done anything One Piece, it's based on, like, their internal willpower, and so you would have to really, like, if you want to do any sort of scaling, which I'm not, like, in love with the idea of that, you would have to, like, scale their willpower, feats of willpower, not their actual.
That's fun. Measure a willpower.
Because I think, like I said, it's been well over a year since I did any of that stuff, so I can't necessarily remember.
Urza versus
Zoro.
Zoro, right?
Yeah.
I did find a good comparison where, so in one of the more recent Naruto movies, I think it's actually the last, there's a part where, if you remember this from Naruto versus Ichigo, Naruto's fighting on the moon.
Please don't bring this up again.
Fighting on
Please
the moon.
don't bring this up again.
Lots of chaos is happening on the moon.
Yeah.
And while this is happening,
The moon dies.
the moon dies and throws rocks at the earth. Meteors. So there are meteors falling to the earth, and all the ninja get together to try to destroy the meteors. And Rock Lee is part of the Leaf Village's task force that just jumps up and kicks a meteor to obliteration. They just pulverize it.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
So he does that, but he's part of a group. So there are like 11 or 12 people doing this at
yeah.
once.
But still, the fact that he can, in any way, compare to a meteor.
That's really impressive, but Sanji might be able to do the same thing. There are multiple occasions in One Piece where he kicks like a giant, like monster of some kind that is easily 300 feet long. Easily, maybe not quite as large as that meteor, but definitely comparable in general size. And there's even one where it's like a giant pufferfish, like a pufferfish man monster thing. I don't know his name, like what his deal is, but he's flying through the air, and Sanji activates his fire kick, his devil's foot, and he literally kicks the guts out of the fish.
Oh, shit.
Out of the giant, enormous fierce fish man.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so.
My only thing is that Rock Lee, when if he pushes himself too far, he starts to hurt himself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Sanji.
But that doesn't matter in a death battle necessarily. If you can kill somebody, even if you would die slightly after you killing them, like, you still won.
Die slightly.
Well, die slightly after.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like, if you pushed yourself to an extent
You only die
where
a little bit.
Like
It's fine.
there's a thing in Fist of the North Star. Like, Kinshiro has a thing where you can, like, hit pressure points that make somebody, like, it unlocks their full potential for like 5 minutes, and then they die. Like, if you won with that and then died 1 meter later, you still won. It doesn't matter if you die after the fight, as long as you killed the person you're fighting. So, like,
Right.
that doesn't necessarily matter that much, unless you just armament hockey all the way until he's like a broken mess. From
Unless
trying to
Sanji can survive long enough for the gates to start
yeah.
affecting Rock Lee, which is
Which is
totally
probably
plausible.
what would happen with the armament hockey.
Yeah, I think the real, for me, the real kicker here is I think Sanji could absolutely keep up with Rock Lee, probably kill him, but Rock Lee might be able to take advantage of the fact that Sanji doesn't use his hands. He doesn't use his hands because he believes, as a chef, he shouldn't dirty his hands. So that could be an issue for him, but it hasn't really been an issue for him in the show.
Yeah.
So maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Sanji then.
I think I'm going to go with Rock Lee because Sanji smokes and winners don't do drugs.
Okay.
Strong points from Nick. I'm also going to go with Rock Lee because his name sounds like broccoli.
And it sounds pretty good right now
yeah.
after having muffins, or not muffins, but
Bruce
waffles and...
It sounds like broccoli.
I've never noticed
broccoli.
that.
Yeah, Rock Lee broccoli.
Oh no.
Also, I will say in Rock Lee's like defense, it's not really in his defense, but the fight he has with Gaara is like one of the dopest anime fights from that generation.
Oh, yeah.
Anime. It's like hella good.
That's
That kinda,
easily
like,
one of my
pushed-
favorite fights in
Yeah,
the
as far as like fight choreography and anime, I kind of think that one pushed the envelope a little bit. So like, shout outs to that.
Unfortunately, he doesn't really get to do much else after that.
Yeah, I don't know much about the whole series. I've just seen that fight and been like, yeah, that's dope.
I'm gonna go Rock Lee because he's a wizard, and wizards always win.
So we got one Sanji, one lone little Sanji against 3 Rock Lees. For
Broccoli.
Very
No, there's 2 Rock
appropriate
Lees, 1
reasons.
broccoli.
Right. All right, well, let's bring up the poll.
What do you guys say? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
1,500 votes, even really?
Wow, yeah, okay. Well,
Nice.
all right. I mean, I guess Rock Lee wins the community death
Rock Lee.
battle.
Yeah.
Broccoli wins the community death battle. Although let me know using the hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter if you want to see this as an actual death battle. I've kind of tossed around the idea of maybe doing this in the future.
Who's going to say no, really?
I mean,
Who's going to say
I want to
Oh.
see if people want to see it.
I do not want to relearn both of those franchises. I've never done the Naruto, as they call it. And I already
time for
did.
everybody.
I already did One Piece. And I
Say,
don't wanna
say
go back
yes.
there.
Say yes so that Sam needs to suffer.
Naruto.
Sam's got to suffer. Because, yeah, you haven't touched Naruto, have you?
No, I haven't had to do it. I've had to do One Piece
Welcome to
and
hell.
Fairy Tail.
Welcome to hell.
I
have to
doubt
watch
it could be worse
Burrito,
than
too.
Fairy Tail. Like, Fairy Tail is rough as far as getting through.
Bleach was a challenge to wrap your mind around.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to be safe from that for the foreseeable future.
How much
Watch Burrito.
how much
Naruto.
power of friendship is there?
In what?
Naruto?
Naruto.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, see, I
They
just
like bring
can't
people from the
stand.
dead back with power of friendship.
That's
Book of
like
Hell.
the one thing I'm really burnt out on is like shonen power of friendship. Like,
Straight Pokemon.
Power
-ish.
Naruto has power friendship and what a lot of people like to call talk no jutsu, where he literally talks to his opponent so much that they basically just fall for him
Yeah.
and side with him. They're like, oh, this kid is so nice and he's understanding. I'm not going to kill him
Isn't that
anymore.
what happened with Sai, the paintbrush guy?
With a lot of characters.
Yeah.
With a lot of characters.
He's like, I'm Black Ops, and I'll kill you if you get out of control. It's like, no, we cool. I like you. I like the way you talk.
he just befriends everybody.
And he has like the crop top.
hey, if it works, it works.
Because his friendship is his power, so he gets more friends, and he's doing it selfishly. I have no doubt.
Yeah, see? Naruto is just like My Little Pony. Friendship, is power.
magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was
If you like Naruto, then clearly you should like My Little Pony. Now let's move on. We've got a
My
new
Little
community death
Shonen.
battle for next year. And this one is
For next year?
For next
We're not coming back?
next episode.
Next week,
Sorry.
don't worry.
Next episode. This one's suggested actually by our own Noelle Wiggins, death battle editor.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, we can bring it up on the
don't
screen
know.
back there. It is the Hamburglar versus Wimpy from Popeye.
Popeye.
Oh, this is great.
I don't know why we're doing this one, but we're doing it.
Hamburglar doesn't look like that anymore.
'Cause this is the kind of shit that we live for.
Yes.
Yeah, like really, really dumb intricate things that you shouldn't do. Like that's the good stuff.
I don't know much about Wimpy, but because I'm not going to be on next week's episode, right?
Right.
Right. I'm not going to be on next week's episode. So I will say this for Hamburglar. As a fan of the all-time classic NES video game MC Kids,
Oh.
he does take you, the player, on this wild goose chase across the country, up into the clouds, and eventually like into space on the moon. So take that for what you will. I don't remember how
go
he
into
does
space
it.
on his own?
I don't remember how he does it.
He must
But-
have some sort of illusion-based magic. Just if you watch the commercials, clearly in real life it is camera trickery. I understand this, but the character, he shows up in places like he should never be able to show up to, and like does some weird shit that can only be described as magic. So
Oh shoot! Why isn't it Hamburglar versus Sneak King, the Burger King King?
Because it has to do with.
Yeah, the hamburgers.
Why you
That's
gotta
a good
ruin
one,
it? All right, we'll throw in a third. Let's throw in a third one.
No.
No,
It's a
you-
three-way
No,
fight.
no.
you're the
can't
one
do that anymore.
complicating it now.
No. I think
Okay,
we
fine.
can do it. Three-way fight.
Okay.
Well, we'll have a
Sneak
poll.
King
got it
doesn't
on
eat
camera.
hamburgers.
We'll figure it out. He
Eat
that's
them,
true,
no.
He gives them away. It's the actual opposite. Like he would lose to both of them.
or
Just steal his hamburgers.
he would give them both hamburgers, they would run away, and he would be the only one left, so he wins.
Oh, see?
All right, there we go. We've answered the Burger King one.
It's
All right, there will be a poll on the Screw Attack Twitter after this weekend. You can vote there and let us know using the hashtag DeathBattleCast who you think wins and why, and we will have a very thorough discussion about it next week. All right, until then, thank you for joining us for another episode of Death Battle Cast. We'll see you later.
Later.
Bye.